Is it really necessary to leave the narcissist? Isn't there something we can do to make this relationship work, to actually turn him or her around, to make them listen to reason, to make them understand that they are hurting us? And when they see that, when they understand that what they are doing and saying is actually hurting us, they will go, oh, now I understand I'm hurting you. I'm so sorry. I will change my behavior. Is there something we can do that will actually make the narcissist do exactly that? Yes, there is. When we are trying to leave, sometimes some narcissists will start love bombing us, and they will start to apologize for their behavior. And say, I can see that I've been the worst partner in the world, and you deserve better, and I shouldn't have done all the things I did. I have been really bad, and I'm sorry for all the hurt that I put you through, and I'm sorry that you feel hurt, and I'm sorry that I was such a bad partner. And I will change. I am working on changing it, and I'm actually looking at myself right now, and I'm trying to be a better person, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you will feel, oh, that sounds so beautiful. I think I will give him or her another chance. And very, very soon after giving them another chance, you will experience that nothing has changed. They are still the same person that they were before you tried to leave. And you can do this a number of times. Try to leave them, and they will love bomb you and regret that they hurt you, and they will even say they want to start therapy or couples counseling, and sometimes they'll even do it, and they'll go there for a few times, but then, the therapist is stupid, that they don't understand, and we deserve better, and we're smarter than the therapist, and we can do this better on our own, and there will be all kinds of excuses. So what I often hear is that, or see, is that the partner to the narcissist, you who are watching this video, needs some kind of validation on the fact that they are being mistreated. Am I really being mistreated, or am I seeing things? And do I really have to leave my narcissist? Is it really necessary? Isn't there some way, some magic I can cast, or a spell I can say, or a book I can force them to read that will make them understand? It all comes down to a simple no. There is no way you can be in a relationship with a narcissist and it will be a good relationship, ever. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. So let me give you an example of what happens when you are in a relationship with a narcissist. What happens to you, okay? So it can be very hard to see how terrible the relationship actually is. But let me tell you a little story that will make it maybe make it easier for you to see what is actually going on. Okay, so I want you to listen to this story, and I want you to think about the fact. I want you to ask yourself the question, is this okay? All right? Is this okay? Would I think that this is okay? So we have a man who kidnaps a young woman. He pulls up a black van. He's been spying on her for some time, stalking her, and he likes her and he wants her. So he pulls up this big black van one day when she's walking in the street, and he opens the door and he pulls her in. He stops the van and he stops to talk to her, to ask her a question, and she doesn't expect to be kidnapped. So she answers his question politely, and he says, oh, let me just look at my map. He's asking for directions. So he's opening the side of the van, and he looks like he's going through some stuff in the back of the van, and then he turns around and he has a bag in his hand, and he grabs her and he puts the bag over her head, and he there's a substance in the bag that will make her pass out. So he puts her in the back of the van, and he takes her away, far away from where she lives, and he puts her in the basement of his house. And it is totally secure. There's no way she can get out. There's no windows there, so there's not even a window she can break and crawl out from. And the doors are made of steel, and they are soundproof, so she can't scream for help, she cannot get out, she cannot do anything. For a while, he just feeds her every day, and he gives her a few kind words like, you look really lovely, or I wish there was something I could do to help you. The thing is that in a few days, she will go more or less crazy, and she will start to crave human interaction so much. She has already clawed her fingers bloody, and she's banged her head against the wall, and she's screamed, and she is pissed on the floor, and she's tried to be as disruptive as she can to get out or make him throw her out. So after a while, she calms down, and he starts asking her questions. Is there anything you need to be more comfortable in this basement? And she says, I don't need any fucking thing from you. And this goes on for another period of time, and he keeps asking her, is there anything you would like to have here in this basement that would help you feel more comfortable? And at some point she thinks, okay, if I start being nice to him, maybe he'll let me out of the basement at some point, and I can actually run away. So she says, well, I would like to have a real bed and a little nightstand, and maybe a fresh supply of water. And he brings her all these things. So slowly but surely, over a few months, he will make the basement a very nice home. He brings her nice furniture, and he brings her little lamps, and he brings her good food, and he says nice things to her, and he's actually always nice to her. When she's not nice to him, he just walks out and closes the door behind him, thereby teaching her that there's nothing she can do or say that will make him be mean to her or throw her out. So over time, she learns, her nervous system learns that there is no way out of this. She might as well stay and make the best of the situation. This is how our brain works. Our brain is actually designed in a way where we want to make the best of it. So she starts talking to him, and she starts asking him questions about his life. And some things he will answer, and some things he won't answer. So over time, he also sits down in her basement and talks to her. And over time, he starts, putting a hand on her shoulder or a hand on her thigh. And in the beginning, she doesn't like it, but over time, she gets used to it. At some point, she tries to hurt him, and he doesn't feed her for 2 days. So she learns that there's no point in trying to hurt him, because it will only make it worse for her to be in that basement. She will be punished and not get food. So she starts being a lot more compliant. And it seems that he's actually a pretty nice guy. He's always interested in her, and he's interested in how she is, and he brings her beautiful clothes and even a nice brush for her hair and some beautiful shoes, and he gives her a lot of stuff that makes her feel very beautiful. And over time, he gets closer and closer to her, and at some point, he even kisses her and holds her and hug her very softly. And our body can be such a betrayer, because our body has a mind of its own. So her body starts to relax and loosen up, and over time, again, maybe 6 months have now passed, she actually gets a little aroused when he touches her, and he starts to make sexual touches, and over time, again, slowly he gets closer and closer to having intercourse with her. And he's always being a nice guy. He's always being a nice guy. He's only the punishing when she's being mean to him. He walks out and leaves her alone for 2 days. But other than that, he's always nice to her and gives her things and brings her things. But asked why he has captured her or holding her kidnapped, or why he's locked her in the basement, he never answers those questions. If she starts to ask questions about her situation, he will up and walk out. He will not punish her by not giving her food, but he will always leave her. And since she's now alone in the basement for very long periods of time, she's going almost crazy. And she is dying to have human contact. So she also learns that she should not talk about her situation. So she stops talking about her situation. And to make it better, she also starts to she answered, I'm sorry, that's a very difficult English word. She starts to answer back. His getting close to her and having sexual flirtations and touches, and they end up having sex. And he is a very considerate and very soft lover, and her body enjoys it, even though her head goes, don't. Her body actually likes it. So on one hand, we have this situation where he is always being indirectly abusive, because he's abandoning her when she's trying to set boundaries. He's abandoning her when she's trying to fight for herself. He's punishing her when she doesn't comply with his view of the world, and he's keeping her kidnapped in this basement. So it turns out that over time that he is actually he's very, very nice to her. When he's there and they have interaction and she follows the rules, he's being very, very nice to her, and he's very interested in her, and he gives her gifts, and he talks to her, listens to her, he brings her books, and he lets her watch movies, and they do things together, and over time they start having like a real life together. So he is actually being close to the man of her dreams when she is complying to him, when she's not asking questions, setting boundaries, fighting for herself, and when she's accepting the situation she is in. Then he is being close to her dream guy. So I want to ask you this. When he's being really nice to her and giving her stuff and treating her nice and being soft and gentle in bed and caressing her and holding her and being interested in her and listening to her, talking to her, all those things, does that make it okay that he kidnapped her? Does that soft and gentle and kind side of him, does that make it okay that he is punishing her for not complying to his way of the version of the world? Does that make it okay? Would you find it okay if your daughter, let's say daughter of 25 years old, was kidnapped by this guy, even though he's really, really nice to her when he's nice? He's never abusive, he's never violent, he's never calling her names, even though she has been really mean to him and really harsh and called him names and tried to hit him and hurt him and run away. Does that make it okay that he has kidnapped her? Does it make it okay that he has done this to her? Will it at some point over time make it okay if he keeps being nice to her and she stops fighting and they actually have a loving and wonderful relationship in the basement? does that make it okay that he's keeping her in the basement? This is an extremely important question to you who are a partner of a narcissist. Because this is the answer to, should I leave the narcissist or not? You are actually not trapped in a basement. You are trapped in a basement in your head. In your head, you are making excuses. Oh, when he's being nice to me, it's better than anything I've ever tried. Yes, but you are still a hostage, trapped in a basement. You have been taken, your rights have been taken away, your freedom has been taken away. He or she is controlling you, telling you how you are supposed to act. He or she is defining who you should be to comply with their version of the world. That is the relationship you are in. There is no difference from the basement girl to you. You are in exactly the same situation. So, should you leave the narcissist? Well, if you think the girl in the basement should try to get away, then yes, the answer to that question is yes, you should definitely leave the narcissist, because since you're not being held hostage in a basement that is confined, where you cannot get out physically, you are actually holding yourself hostage. You are doing this to yourself as well as your partner is. You are making it possible for them to be indirectly abusive, to punish you, even whether it's directly or indirectly, doesn't matter. If it's abandoning you, or if it's being violent towards you, it's the same. They are punishing you for not complying with their version of the world. So the answer to, should I leave the narcissist, lies in you right now. Should she try to leave the basement? If you think the answer to that question is yes, then the answer to whether you should leave the narcissist or not is also yes. I hope you find this video very useful, and I want you to take care of you, be considerate of you, and hold your boundaries. Take care. See you soon again. Bye.